From our point of view, it was a big mistake to let a minister from the Hamas using a tricky way to break the consensus of the European Union and not let the member states know that actually the visa was granted to a minister of the Hamas.
What do you mean by tricky way?
Tricky way that Sweden didn't tell the member states that actually they're granting a visa to a member of the Hamas government, because Hamas is on the terror list of the European Union.
But are you suggesting that the Swedish government by purpose misled the other countries of the European Union?
This is the knowledge, the common knowledge here in Israel.
Det är första gången som en företrädare för den israeliska regeringen nu ställer upp i en intervju om de försämrade relationerna mellan Sverige och Israel. Gideon Meir är välkänd talesperson och den israeliska regeringens strateg i medie- och kommunikationsfrågor. Och hans budskap är att Sverige är det mest israel-fientliga landet i Europa.
Actually, the Swedish government most of the time is not interested in our arguments. Now, I don't know who is influencing more, the media, the government, or the government, the media. But this is the fact. And we have a feeling that in Sweden, more than in other European countries, there is more hostility to Israel than in the rest of the world, and especially in the rest of Europe.
Enligt Gideon Meir har den israeliska regeringens besvikelse över den svenska Mellanösternpolitiken vuxit fram successivt de senaste åren. Uppfattningen är att Sverige konsekvent tar ställning mot Israel. Nu senast illustrerat i Hamas-besöket och den svenska regeringens beslut att hoppa av en internationell flygövning där Israel deltog.
You know, there are forces today in Europe, especially in Europe, and you hear them here and there, who are calling for delegitimization of the Jewish state of Israel. I hope that this is not the case here. But we have the feeling, and from the voices and the meetings we are having, and I myself participated in one of those meetings, there was so much hostility to our minister at that meeting. It was about 2 years ago.
From the Swedish side?
Yeah, which I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, and I participated in many meetings with different European foreign ministers. And at that meeting, I remember, if I may share it, personal anecdote, at that meeting, it was so hostile that I didn't have a choice. I took out a picture of my secretary, Orito Zero. She was 28 years old, and she was killed in a discotheque, in a coffee shop here in Jerusalem. And I asked the minister, under which international law was this woman killed? She was a peace supporter. So for us, everything is personal here. We, the victims, suddenly, in the eyes of the Swedes, became the victimizers.
And this was in front of the Swedish Minister of Foreign Affairs?
It was in a meeting, yes.
And what's the reaction?
There was quiet in the room for some while.
Now you are speaking on behalf of the Israeli government. What kind of reaction do you expect from the Swedish government in your statement?
What do I expect is what I said. We expect to give us a fair hearing, to have a much more balanced policy vis-à-vis the Middle East, and to understand that we are doing what we are doing in order to bring peace, to live in peace. The Israelis want to live in peace with the Palestinian neighbors, but we have to defend our people. What we are doing is out of self-defense. This is what we want to be understood in Stockholm.